Now it's time for Past Week, Next Week with Chris and Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Now it's time for Past Week,
Oh.
Next Week with Chris and Paul.
Good morning, Chris.
Hi there, Paul. How are you?
Good. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you, buddy.
We like to start off the show with some music to kind of remind you of the last week. And here's our first one we're going to do. It's Amazing Grace by Garth Brooks on Past Week, Next Week.
Well, this is hopeful.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. If I can ask you to sing this last verse with me. Not just the people here.
You can do it,
People
Chris.
at home, at work.
You got it, buddy.
As one, united. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved
I can't
a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
All right. That should get you going. And if that does it, here's Demi Lovato.
Well, we got a double intro.
This is a little more happy and we can make cracks about this one.
Okay.
I don't see your face, Chris.
Oh, yeah. I turned off my my video to honor
In reverence of it.
Yeah. I like how Garth owned the libs by not wearing a mask. That was awesome.
I like how he owned the bald people by getting plugs and having his hair back.
He sure did. That hurts a little bit.
Okay, so Demi has been a conversation on our show
a lot
about her publicist, and she got this song, and I'm like, oh God, not Demi.
Were you blown away by her voice like I was?
Blown away, and I love this. I was brought to tears when I saw this because how beautiful it is.
Yeah, I cried like a schoolboy bitch in my living room when she was singing this.
Yeah, because this whole thing is not about her. It's about everybody singing.
Yeah.
And I'll show you the point where I lost it.
Her voice is amazing. I'll just say it.
Yeah.
And this is one of my all-time favorite songs ever.
It's a great song, isn't it?
When I was a kid, like a teenager, I used to dream that I was starring in a movie, and this was the song that played when things are going good in
Uh-huh.
the first act, and I'm driving down the road, sun's shining.
That's what's so great about the inauguration thing, because it was uplifting at the end.
Yeah.
Right? See it? See Joe
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Joe with his BB.
with this
Bebe.
Bebe. And you know who the Bebe is?
I don't know, grandkid.
Yeah, that's Bo Biden.
Aw.
Yeah, it must be his.
And was that a Secret Service lady dancing in the edge of that?
I don't
frame?
know. Hope we can see her again. But little Bo Biden must be Hunter's son, right?
Must be. Yeah. See the Secret Service lady or Eileen Weir over there dancing?
Either one, it's awesome to me.
Yeah. And you know what I say? Don't do it. Don't do an inaugural ball ever again. Do this and let everybody celebrate together.
As you know, I've been to an inaugural ball.
You love balls.
Have a big
I
deal.
get it. Yeah.
What?
Mhm.
But this is a national celebration.
Yeah.
With old man Grandpa holding the baby. I love
Yep.
it. You ever see the last president ever hold a baby?
I saw him give a thumbs up sign one time next to a baby who he had taken his parents away from.
Right.
That was the closest.
And you can tell that President Biden is very awkward with everyone else having fun because he's old.
Yes. Yeah, he's an old dude. What are you gonna do? He's trying though. Look at him. He's holding a baby.
Oh.
It just made it feel so hopeful for America.
Sure did, didn't it?
Like, we can do this.
We can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else we can do?
What's that?
We can read the opening of the show.
Oh yeah, that's important.
So that was Demi Lovato with Lovely Day from the inauguration celebration.
It was a lovely
And,
day.
that sums up the past week for me. Welcome to Past Week. Next week, next week with Chris and Paul.
You're just all confabulated, aren't you?
I am.
I'm Chris.
I'm Paul. This is the show where we review the most important things from the past week and get ready for the next week. It's your one-stop podcast to keep you updated. It's a real week review. Just listen to us. You won't need any other information outlet. That's our guarantee. If it's Sunday morning, you listen to us live on kctkradio.com, or you can watch us on Facebook Live on the KCTK Radio page or the Past Week, Next Week page. Either one will work. It's easier to use the KCTK Radio smartphone app if you want to listen. You get the phone app, you download it. We'll give it to you for free today. And then
Free?
Uh-huh.
Oh God, jump on that, folks.
Right. And also, this isn't like Candy Crush. I know a guy who does Candy Crush all the time and has spent thousands of dollars in the app, paying for tips and stuff.
What's his name?
His name is Paul.
Oh, I thought so.
But we're not charging any money in there. We just want you to
No.
buy some poopy bags. That's it.
Yeah, we just share the love.
Yeah. You can join the experiment by calling or texting us at 913-735-0060. We welcome your participation. We're hoping we already get some texters. We want the texter to participate. If you're listening to the rebroadcast of this program Sunday evening at 7 p.m., well, you're in either Delaware, Maryland, or Virginia and Delmarva area talk radio. Tuesday evening, we're rebroadcast 9 p.m. at the Good Talk Radio place. The number still works, 913-735-0060, no matter when you're listening to us. And the Facebook page, you go on there and tell us, maybe some advice, how we went wrong with our lives, whatever you want to put. We welcome your participation. Coming up, we have our weekly news quiz, pop culture update, an incredible special feature, headlines and predictions, and much, much more. But first, let's see what is going on with one Chris Whiting.
What?
Chris?
Me?
Yes. What's going on?
Oh, I'm stretching because I'm a little tired today. But I'm gonna start this segment off by telling you something, Paul. I did something late last night that I have never done before, and I thought of you the entire time I was doing it.
It doesn't sound good.
Actually, it was amazing.
Oh, it does sound right.
So we were painting the kitchen until late last night, and we needed to get food. And I said, my buddy Paul has bragged ad nauseum about the burger at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Uh-huh.
Let's get a burger from Buffalo Wild Wings and try it out. Buddy, you're right on.
At nauseam?
That is a dang good burger they have there. I got the cheese curd burger. Jane got the avocado bacon burger, and Tristan got the black bean burger.
You paint your
And,
own kitchen?
Huh?
You paint your own kitchen?
Yeah.
I got a guy who's painted my hallway and my front room and can come do the kitchen. I can't do nothing. And also I have Mike from Surface Service referred by the texter to me, and he does a great job.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Worked out really.
Yeah. Well, I may need a little bit of help in finding someone to just surface or something with the bathroom. So maybe talking to you or the texter about that. But right now it's the kitchen we're focusing on.
So the burger was good because I always wondered if maybe I was just surprised that the place had a good burger, but you came in with expectations.
I did. And let me compound, or let me tell you how complicated it was for it to be good, because a week ago I had, from a restaurant in Kansas City, maybe the best burger I've ever had in my life.
Whoa.
It's a place called the Russell down on Main, kind of near Gates Barbecue down on Main Street.
Uh-huh.
And we brought it home. It was delicious. My one complaint about the Russell is they don't have French fries. So on my way home, I had to get off of I-70, run into Five Guys, get some fries, bring it in. Anyway, wonderful burger experience. This was comparable last night.
It's called
B-dubs.
the Russell?
The Russell. Check it out.
Like the guy's name Russell?
I don't know. I want to say it used to be a florist building just north of Gates on Main Street. Anyway,
Well, now we're venturing heavily into let's eat.
I know we're going straight into food. So, and I know there's been we need to talk about other stuff that's been going on.
We already have text. We appreciate the texter joining us, and let's go to that before we hear what else has been going on. Oh, he likes hunky girls. Did you know there's a new president, Chris?
Of
the U.S.
Oh, of the country. Yes. I heard about that.
The events of this week, the transition from old regime to new one, has been what I felt like to go from the dark ages to the Renaissance. It really did feel amazing, didn't it?
It did. Yeah. Holy cow.
He was crying.
Like a weight was lifted.
Uh-huh.
He was crying. That's why he turned.
Facebook is the devil. Masturbation, Sergio. Hey, have you heard the burger at High Boys? They put the old cup of pizza. High Boy is good, but I have to try the Russell if it's as good as.
Yeah.
So
well, I think it's a little bit better than B-dubs, but B-dubs is right up there. But you should definitely try the Russell.
Okay, I'll do it.
Here's the thing: if you want fries with your burger, you're going to have to get them somewhere else. All they have is chips.
All right. So what else? So we had this major change in the world with the president, and we're talking about burgers. So what's been going on in your life, Chris? What's going on?
Hey, so I also went to my first breathwork circle. And that was, I've done group activities in a circle before, that, sure. But this was the first time I've done breath work in a circle. And that was kind of fun, kind of interesting. I'm sort of a hippie dippy guy.
I think it's so cool that you share your life with the listeners, because here's Chris in this breath work. Here he is. Oh yeah, okay. That was you in the breath work.
Yeah, that was basically what it was like. Yes. So, everything's been fun. Oh, one more thing I was going to share, just flippant, but my daughter Molly got an internship with a company called Veterans United. You probably have heard of them because you're in the biz of mortgages.
Yes.
So
veterans. I support veterans.
Yes. Yeah. Great company. Apparently doing very well. She started her first day and she's sending me pictures of this little care package they gave her when she started. And there's a coffee mug. I think it's called a burnout mug. So I look it up. It's an $80 coffee mug that they gave her. And then they gave her these wireless Bose noise canceling headphones that are almost $300 as a, hey, welcome to your internship. I have a full-time big boy job and I don't get anything like that.
Well, you're not as valuable as she is.
Well, that's probably a fair point. And then she called me yesterday or Friday. She's like, Dad, so I have this job, this internship, and it's fun. The people are nice. I'm like, cool. What are you doing? She's like, well, that's the problem. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It seems like they sit around and talk all day and don't do much work. And so I'm just like making stuff up. And I'm like, yeah, well, get ready for the next 40 years in corporate America, lady. That's how it goes.
Exactly. Anything else?
Nah, that's really about it.
I mean, how about just the inauguration? Your reaction on that?
So I thought, like I said, it really felt like a weight was lifted off of me. I thought the inauguration itself was great. My God, the 22-year-old poet that came out and did her poem.
Can you believe that?
I was floored.
Mhm.
That much talent at that young of an age was just incredible to me. And then Joe's speech I thought was fantastic. I thought it was just really probably the best I've ever seen him do.
Yeah.
And that would make sense because he's stepping up and he's shining and on the biggest stage and the biggest moment thus far. And I just came away with hope. I did make the mistake of going and looking at some of my friends who are a little more right-leaning on their social media. And I guess the reaction, the feeling is akin to what I was feeling 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm very hopeful, I'm still scratching my noggin as to how we come together.
Yeah.
I don't know how we do it.
That's what's I've been wondering about, because Fox News didn't even carry the celebration of the inauguration.
Oh, I know. I know. I turn over to Fox News and it's Hannity going on about, I meant to share it on the show and I forgot something so totally not relevant to what was happening. But so very hopeful, but still befuddled as to how we bring everybody together.
Yeah. My tweet on the day was, this has been an inspirational day full of messages of unity and togetherness. Also, Fox News is garbage for not sharing the inauguration celebration with their views just to keep their profitable negativity going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Of course, the one before that was, they're all good. You know what I mean?
They're all winners.
So when, I can't find it anyway. Maybe it was a reply. When Melania Trump said she put out her statement and kind of said goodbye to everybody. And it was basically kind of be nice to everybody and let's get along. And my comment was, good message about stopping social media abuse. Also, fuck you and your whole grifter family. So I feel like I really got the whole message there.
Yeah. Did you watch Trump's goodbye thing?
I saw parts of it.
I did too. I did not. I saw his kids crying, and then I saw the end where he told everybody to have a nice life.
Have a nice life. Man. You know what's funny? We didn't do the show last week, and here's what's happened since then. We talked about the insurrection, and then he got impeached, and there's a new president.
Yeah, holy cow!
Crazy.
There's been a lot going on. Yeah.
Now I went to a little place called Isla Morelos. I always say it wrong.
Maharis.
Thank you.
Is that it? I think that's
the J is an H, right?
Yeah. Like Jose or jalapeno.
Thank you, Chris. And you've been there.
I have. Yeah.
In fact, when I went, one of the people I was going with said, Chris has been here. This is where Chris stayed. We drove through Cancun. He goes, this is where Chris stayed for his.
Yes.
Has this been your honeymoon?
No, it was just a trip down to Mexico. A lovely trip. Where we stayed was awesome. And then we just took a day trip over to Isla
Well,
Maharek.
we came back from the island to the mainland to Cancun to get on the plane. Was right next to where you stayed, so that's where it was pointed at.
That the texter says it's actually pronounced Islamabad. I think he might be mistaken on this
Yeah.
one. I'm not sure.
He's usually has a good track record of not being mistaken. But it was 3 days of being in the sun and drinking cerveza.
Ooh, what kind of cerveza did you drink there?
Soul.
Oh, okay.
Soul.
Okay. When I went, it was Tecate Light that was like the main
Yeah.
beer at our
Now-
resort.
now
So I
here's
did
the
a lot of that. but-
Here's what's really interesting is that we had this planned, and the COVID thing, people aren't traveling, and we probably shouldn't have gone, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
what I have found is going on an airplane and being in a facility like a hotel where their livelihood is if you get it or not. Meaning, if I get COVID in their spot, they lose lots of money.
Yeah.
Okay. They are much more together on the protocols and the sanitation than any place I've seen here in the US. And the airlines are just amazing. I mean, you got a mask on the whole time. You go through it 18 times. So
What about in Mexico? Do people wear masks everywhere?
oh, yeah, absolutely. Everybody wears masks.
So that you're telling me there are no patriots in Mexico whatsoever.
That's right.
Wow.
Just
Okay.
just hombres.
Yeah.
So we went around the island in a golf cart. We didn't wear a mask the whole time we were in the golf cart.
Right.
And
right.
when I was drinking the cerveza, I didn't.
Well, yeah, you gotta have your hole exposed.
Yeah. So I did, and also yeah. So it was a lot. It was a lot of fun, and then come back to a new president. So it was a good week. Good.
Yeah, boy, you're down in sunny Mexico. You get a new president that's a little more towards your a little more in alignment with things that you believe, and good for you.
Any thoughts on all the executive orders that he's doing?
Well, I guess that's the new norm now. Obama was hamstrung, and that's how he could get stuff done. Trump, of course, derided Obama for all of his executive orders, and then came in and did the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think we're at a crisis point where action has to be taken. For instance, there's no plan for distribution of the vaccine.
Can you believe that?
So he's got to do something and take immediate and decisive action. So
could you imagine? He would go. They were going to go in there and go, let's look at the plan and see how we can make it better.
yeah.
There's no plan. There's
Yeah.
no plan. That's really got to piss everybody off. Come on, Trump,
You
Trump
know
people.
what? It's maddening and in no way surprising.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
I think I've said this before that one of the things that we're going to look back on Trump is the corruption, okay,
Uh-huh.
and the lies
Mm-hmm.
and the virus. I mishandled it, but then this is part of it. What's underreported is just the incompetence.
Yeah.
The pure he just didn't know what he was doing. He was bad at his job, and then he surrounded himself with people who didn't care about it.
Yeah.
I guess you can call that corruption, but it's just incompetence.
Well, you've got somebody that had not been in the game, which is why a lot of people wanted to vote for him. We need an outsider, but you also had someone who is a bit too narcissistic to listen to other people and learn how to do something new.
Yeah.
And so it was a match made in hell.
Yeah, and he said that he would surround himself with the best people, but he didn't. That was the problem, and then anyone that was good left.
Mm-hmm.
So did you know that Joe Biden is the most experienced person ever to be president?
No.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just from the texter, Soul tastes like Bud Light. It does.
Yeah.
It does. So I didn't get that authentic, did I? Should have got what
I mean, they're all light lagers. Tecate Light tastes like Bud Light,
Well, I should have been maybe authentic and got Mexican holy water.
Oh, tequila.
Amigo, you want some Mexican holy water?
Is that what they said?
Yeah, isn't that funny? I'm like,
Did you buy any chiclets there?
No. But-
Nobody tried to sell you chiclets?
No, but when we were on the tour, the guy who was our tour guide showed us this tree that was made gum and made chiclets from the very original tree. And now they're protected trees.
Really?
And
Wow.
what you saw was this man explaining it and how it affected the general that took over the Alamo, and how America wanted to get Mexico because they wanted to get these trees. And you saw 3 grown men just sitting there going like this. This is so interesting about a tree that makes. And the name of this tree is like chiclet tree. I mean, it sounds exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So it was awesome.
Did you go to the turtle farm?
No, we were gonna go there and we're like, we don't care about turtles. So we
well, it was amazing. You
like,
get to hold little baby sea turtles. Come on.
In a bar.
They don't serve beer there.
We do have a message from the texter that says that we should be wearing masks right now.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I'm actually owning myself. God.
So Joe Biden has done a lot of the executive orders, which I'd prefer us not legislate that way, but he's going to do it. Most of them were reversing what Trump executive orders.
Yep.
And when Obama did executive orders, did they scream tyranny.
Oh yeah.
Now they're doing it again.
Yeah.
But anyway, Biden has been president since Wednesday. You think we give him a chance to learn it?
No.
But evidently he's already messed up. And
since Joseph Hussein Biden became president, this country's really gone to shit. As soon as he put his hand on what I can only assume is a satanic Bible or Hunter Biden's laptop, the unemployment numbers shot up, the deficit shot up, the Corona-19 became real. And what is Joe Biden doing about it? So much for keeping your promises, Joe, because you said you're going to send me $2,000. And 20 minutes after you became president, I checked my bank account and I don't see it in there. It's my money, Joe, and I need it now. I want to see Joe Biden's birth certificate. As a matter of fact, I want to see his death certificate. Because he's so old, I'm not convinced he's even alive. And I'll be damned if somebody's going to weekend at Bernie's this country for the next 4 years. We need to support the president, no matter who it is, unless it's Joe Biden.
So we gave him a chance. Brett Terhune already has commented how he's messed up terribly.
To be fair, it's been half a week. I didn't realize him and Barack had the same middle name. Wow, that's kind of cool.
And you saw that this wackadoodle congressperson out of Georgia, she's already put in impeachment.
I saw that. Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, we can't live under this anymore if you think about
it. God. Yeah, she's one of the Q Congress people.
Yeah, I think it would be so great to run media ads down in her district saying that she's trying to get Kamala Harris to be president.
Hey, that would be kind of funny. Is it like Marjorie Taylor Greene, something like that?
Yeah. Notorious MTG. Yeah.
MTG's pushing for Kamala to be president. I like that.
Yeah. So that's what's been going on with us, everybody. And
now you're caught up with us.
You're caught up with us from the past. It's called past week. It's not past fortnight. But so sorry about that. But we also have news to tell you about. The way we do the news for you is the Slate News Quiz. So they ask us a question. We see if we answer it.
We see if we can answer it. Yeah. It's fun.
So what happens is that people listen to what the news is and see if we get it right. And then they tune out with our commentary on it.
This is going to be interesting because, believe it or not, I've not paid a lot of attention to news other than inauguration the last week.
You know what I am going to try to watch? I'm going to try to watch if there are things Well, I don't know. I'm just so biased on everything. Okay.
Yeah.
It just really makes me mad that Fox News is already, they wouldn't even on that same night just show the show and tomorrow start criticizing them. They wouldn't even do that.
No.
And then the stupid New York Times and the problem we have with the New York Times, folks, is that they're so woke and so liberal that everybody else takes news from them. And so that narrative continues. Okay. And sure, I'm sounding like everybody else on Good Talk Radio, but we need some really impartial things. So the New York Times has a story that Joe Biden has a Rolex.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my immediate thing is, wait a minute. Trump had a gold toilet.
Yes.
And you're criticizing him. But I also want to, as the next 4 years go forward, I want to be able to criticize Joe Biden if he needs to be. I don't want
That's the only fair
I don't
thing
wanna-
to do.
Yeah, but I don't want to be one of these Trump people that everything he did was right. You
Yeah.
know? And so I'm going to try to watch my bias here, but I got to admit, I am that. I'm like, so what if he has a Rolex? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe there is something to it. I don't think there is on this one, but
I don't think there is either.
I don't. I just gotta try to be as try to work through it, even though it's not my job. I'm not a journalist at all.
Do they still make Casios?
I don't know. That'd be great to get
Maybe I'll send him a presidential Casio
one. Or a Seiko.
or a Seiko. Yeah.
Seiko.
Ooh, what about one of those watches that has the calculator on it?
You know what would be cool if you could get him one of those and also send him the equation where you can turn upside down and see boobs. That'd be awesome.
Oh God. Yeah, I can do that. Somewhere I've got the equation written down.
I know you do. Okay, question number 1. Vice President Kamala Harris was sworn into the office by which member of the Supreme Court?
Oh God. I don't know.
Come on, Chris.
No, I really don't. I didn't get to watch it live because I have a job where I work, but
Oh, stop it.
what? No, seriously.
Sonia Sotomayor.
I was gonna say Sotomayor.
Yeah. So that was kind of neat. Good for her.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then
Girl on girl.
I already see the wackadoodles are like, why
Yeah.
was she sworn in first? And just because you take the oath doesn't mean you're sworn in. Doesn't mean you're president. Because Joe Biden did just a few minutes before.
I like that. The whole, lady on lady inauguration stuff. That's kind of my thing.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Question number 2. Along with
Mhm.
the exchange of the nuclear football on Wednesday, President, you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Everybody know what that is? Texter? You know what that is? You nod your head. Yeah, okay. Along with the exchange of nuclear football, President Joe Biden is now required to carry which related plastic card at all times?
Subway Sub Club card?
No, that's not it. Here's the
Major
choice.
Saver?
Here's the choices: the biscuit, the cookie, the waffle, the McMuffin. I know if you got yourself some McMuffin, you can get your cookies.
What?
And the waffle, I think waffle, that was John Kerry's thing. No, he was sorry. So what do you say it is, Chris?
So the choices are biscuit, waffle,
Cookie,
cookie.
McMuffin.
I'm thinking it's either biscuit or cookie.
It's a big biscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the biscuit contains alphanumeric codes used to positively identify the president, the only American who can legally authorize a nuclear launch.
Aha. And the texter thinks it's a dildo, but I don't know that that's what's happening.
Or a detachable penis.
Yeah. Yeah. Or a ceramic butt plug. I don't know.
So that's where I never knew about the biscuit.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Do you think he does it just for the risk it for the biscuit, you think?
I don't know if he risks it for the biscuit. I wonder if his biscuit's limp.
Yeah, probably. Or salty biscuit. Okay, which
He's got a whisker on his bed. Okay, what? Sorry, go ahead.
Which 22-year-old poet, the first National Youth Poet Laureate, challenged Americans at Biden's inauguration to leave behind a country better than the one we were left?
I'm going to need to hear the name. Gorman, Angela Gorman,
Her name is Amanda Gorman. I'm going to give that to you.
Amanda Gorman. Thank you.
She recited the poem, "The Hill We Climb."
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
it was great. I was stunned.
Well, I remember Clinton, 92, 93, actually, the inauguration, and young lady by the name of Angelo Mailu, what's her name?
Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou. Thanks.
Yeah,
I never heard her before that. Then she became very popular.
she became huge.
I think she's probably popular before, but she became mainstream.
Yeah,
Household name. And this person's only 22 years old.
she's only 22, and
I have children older than that.
poetry, like she really tapped in, and she said she watched Hamilton to kind of get that sort of almost hip hop flow to the poetry. I just thought it was so cool. I've gone to this thing called Louder Than a Bomb a few times where they take kids and they write poems and then they compete, and it is cool stuff. It made me want to write some poetry. I actually started a couple.
Let's
There
hear one.
once was a man from Nantucket. Haven't got any further. And then here I sit all brokenhearted. But I'm going to continue working on those. See where I go.
I was going to do here.
Oh, sorry, dude.
That's what happens when you try to improv, folks. Okay, question. We're doing good. 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
We lucked out on the biscuit. The biscuit.
What's that?
We lucked out on the biscuit.
Yeah, we did. We did.
And also on the quiz. The FBI is investigating whether Pennsylvania woman Riley June Williams tried to sell a laptop to Russia that was stolen from which person?
Nancy Pelosi.
Right. That's pretty bad.
I'm flabbergasted. And then they released her back to her mommy.
Her mommy.
I'm just floored that you're accused of stealing the laptop from the Speaker of the House and trying to sell it to Russia, and you're released.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. What the AF, man?
Do you agree with the idea that as far as, because the Republican Party now, what about Hillary's emails? That's all.
That's a good point.
Good point, Dexter. So they keep talking about unity. The Republican Party's now
Yeah.
about unity and togetherness, and the impeachment's going to stop on that. Do you agree with the idea that we got to have some justice to some of these folks before we move on?
Absolutely. What you can assign blame to whoever you want to for it, but the fact is there was an insurrection and an attempt to overthrow our government and a free and fair election. There has to be some kind of justice for that, or we're just saying, go for it, do it. Put up your buffalo horns and storm the Capitol.
Yeah.
It's fine.
There's a lot of people who are like, impeachment. Why would you impeach and try to remove from office someone who's gone? But see, I think what they have underreported is this. We have 3 co-equal branches of government.
Right. Okay. I'm following.
One branch of government. Okay. Because the president is a branch of government, right?
Right.
Started an attack on another one.
Yeah.
Okay. A physical attack to stop their proceedings.
Mm-hmm.
So the Congress has to do something to show their check and balance. I would say they're more of their power.
Yeah.
So another executive doesn't do that. And they don't have a lot of stuff to do. So this is about making sure that these branches are equal. You did this to us. We have to show that was wrong. And we don't have a lot of things to do. So that's why we're impeaching you.
Yeah.
You have used your power to circumvent our power. So we're going to use something we have. I wish there was another tool they could use, but impeachment and removal is what they have. So but I don't think they talk a lot about that. The ongoing competing ebb and flow of the powers between the three. You can look at throughout history how one's been more powerful than the other, but it's that it was designed to have that struggle to make sure that they're all the same.
Yeah,
And
there's supposed to be tension to make it work.
Right. And you just go back and forth. I mean, you look at, during the Roosevelt, he had so much power, and then there was a swing after he was gone. So it just happens that way. And that's why Congress has to do something. That's what they're doing. They have nothing else to do. And you would think all these guys that are in Congress would be like, I'm in Congress. I'm not the executive. I don't want any executive to ever try to do this. And I'm going to show them that I'm in Congress and we have the power to do this, to certify an election, But, yeah.
But the Republican Party is in a situation right now. This is what I heard when I turned over to Hannity on election night. They were talking about the impeachment. That was it. And Reince Priebus said, he was the guest on there, and said, look, here's the deal. In the Republican Party right now, we've got three legs of the stool. We've got the Trumpers, we've got the old-fashioned Republicans, and we've got the conservatives, which I don't see the distinction there. He goes, but we can't survive as a party and get rid of one of those. And I think that's what those Republicans are struggling with. How do I survive if I alienate, a third of my party?
I think you're right.
And I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. There's nothing noble about kowtowing to people that have literally tried to destroy the government.
Yeah.
Nothing noble about that. But I think that's what's happening.
How do you survive is that you don't. I mean, you have some type of integrity where you say, I can't go that far. I can't go as far as you want me to do. I'm not a racist. I can't do it,
Yep.
Let's see what the texter has to say about our discussion. Above all, those who would defy political correctness must behave according to the old rules of our culture, not the new rules of our culture Marxists laid down. What? Ladies should be wives and homemakers, right? Not constant shoulders. And men should hold the door open for ladies. Children should not be born out of wedlock.
Yeah, children should know better than to be born out of wedlock. Come on, kids.
The glorification of homosexuality should be shunned. Jurors should not accept Islam as an excuse for murder. You guys
got some hot takes.
Sometimes you read something, you go, I agree with everything you said. On this one, I disagree with every single sentence in there.
Yes.
You may say, including above. It started with above all. And so don't read that. That is from the guy who killed all those kids in Normandy back in 2012. So, well,
it sounded like him. Now that he said that, totally sounds like the
it is a different texter. He must have came back from the dead and did that. Has he ever heard of a unicycle? Oh, yeah. Would you love to see Reince Priebus run around the unicycle?
Yeah, and I would like to see Sean Hannity show the journalistic integrity to ask a question like that.
Right.
But he's not a journalist. He's a showman.
Right. I understand what Reince Priebus is saying, but the surviving stuff, it gets me a lot, and it should get you too, Chris, because you and I have both been elected officials. Okay. We did it as a service. We enjoyed it. But it's not the end all be all of life.
No.
I mean, did Josh Hawley really believe that he has to do this stuff so he can stay elected or get an elected job? He has to be an evil person to do it.
Yeah. I don't get
everything he believes in, every core thing that he believes in.
I'll say this about that guy. He's just doubled down to the point where he's either going to come through this or he's just going to be destroyed in it. But he is not going to back off.
Well, let's see what he has to say.
Okay.
Look, Democrats didn't like what happened in 2004 and 2016, but that didn't change the result. They lost fair and square. But when we don't win, when we lose, when we don't get what we want, it isn't fair because we should just always get what we want. And that's why I'm standing up for 74 million Americans who legitimately lost fair and square. Because for me, My only shot in 2024, my only shot at a future in this party is to stick my tongue so far up Donald Trump's filthy balloon knot that I can taste yesterday's Big Mac because I'm afraid of him and I'm afraid he's going to mean tweet me. I know I'm being an asshole, but you are what you eat. This is the game I have to play. I'm Senator Josh Hawley, and I approve this message.
You know, he went to Rockhurst. What he expects is what the texter says.
Oh, well, no, that's true. He did do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing good. We got 4 for 4. We got one more.
Okay, let's see if we can knock this fifth one out. And Homeboy needs a break here.
Which homeboy? Okay, which controversial social media site has pledged to come back online a week after it was booted from Amazon servers?
That would be the Parlor.
Yes, but I guess it's also called Parlay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've also.
And according to the texter, it's also called MySpace.
MySpace is still there, unfortunately.
What about Friendster?
I follow someone on TikTok who comes on and she calls herself the Parlor Martyr.
Oh,
Her thing is, she looks at Parlor so you don't have to. And man, it's some crazy stuff they do over there.
yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. I have a Parlor account.
Do
And
you?
I would go out and just be a voyeur, if you will.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's nutty stuff. Oh, can we mention one more thing from the past week that's just been a real treat?
Nope.
Is all the Bernie memes.
Oh my God. What do you?
I-
Okay, here's why I don't like them.
Yeah, tell me
My
why.
wife laughs out loud at every single one and wants to come show me.
Well,
Stop
okay.
showing me this.
Yeah, that's
Get
a
it.
bit much.
Yeah.
My daughter actually has 2 internships, and one of them is for
It's
a
Bernie.
restaurant called the Heidelberg down in Columbia.
Okay.
So she did a Bernie meme on their Instagram, and it blew up. And,
Was he
she's-
on the top deck or something?
he was in a chair. I don't know. It's a shot they use a lot of the restaurant, of the interior of the restaurant, and it's this one table they show all the time. But apparently, there's a regular named Ron that sits at that table. So the Instagram post turned into people talking about Ron and how pissed off Ron's going to be that Bernie's there, and where's the PBR that Ron always has. And anyway, people had a lot of fun with it. It was a
Yeah.
good time.
We're talking about Senator Bernie Sanders. A lot of people want to know who is Bernie. We're talking about Bernie Sanders.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Not Bernie Mac.
Right.
Or Bernie, as played by Jack Black in the movie of the same name.
Right. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all ridiculous. So Molly's not even in town. Well, I guess she has an internship. She has an internship during her school.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. 2
Yeah.
of them.
2 of them. Yeah. She's doing the one sort of on the side for the Heidelberg, and then she's doing like 15 to 20 hours a week with Veterans United, and seriously enjoying that. So good times for her.
Did you ever do an internship in college?
Never.
Me neither.
Yeah. Nope.
So that's headlines and predictions. We did it.
We did it.
We did it. We got 5 out of 5.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah. And now we're really going to do it and do it good.
Amen. Yeah. I got to go visit the Parlor in my house right now.
By taking a break but coming back later. So don't worry about that, okay? Because we have a little bit of information to tell you about next week, okay?
Okay.
So we'll be right back with more Past Week Next Week with Chris and Paul on the Texter.
Looking at the past 7 days so you don't have to. You could join in on the experiment by calling or texting us at 913-735-0060.
Do you know if your children are up to date with their immunizations? Hey, fellow Detroit parents, I'm Herman Moore, a former professional football player. I'm lucky to have 2 amazing sons, but I also know that being a parent requires a lot of work. And one of the most important things is helping to keep your children healthy. To help make sure they stay on top of their game, it was important to stay on top of their vaccinations. The CDC recommends a vaccination schedule that helps protect against 14 serious diseases before age 2. There's a lot to consider when it comes to your child's health, but I know getting our children vaccinated with all doses at the scheduled times is one of the most important steps we can take to help protect them from serious illnesses.
Visit vaccinateourchildren.com to find information about CDC recommended vaccinations. This message was brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System in partnership with Pfizer.
Hi, Tom Gully from The Tom Gully Show here. Listen to the show every weekday at 5 p.m. right here on KCTK Radio, personality-driven radio.
A just-launched nonpartisan web portal by Vote Sane PAC aims to empower the electorate in a unique way. Founder Rob Zimmer discusses what makes it different.
We designed VoteSane as a user-friendly one-stop destination that contains news, data, and insights, as well as a chance to influence government by donating to candidates and causes directly from our site. Now, not only can voters see what their elected officials are saying and how they're voting, but regular folks get the same access as heavy-hitter insiders by donating to an incumbent or instead a challenger. VoteSane also provides social media content, on-site polling, and even voter registration. Our goal is simple: help more Americans participate in our democratic process, all with a few clicks of a mouse.
Technology's impact on the 2008 elections led to the Vote Sane concept, which has now become the only nonpartisan portal that accepts donations to candidates. For more information, visit votesane.com.
Hey folks, this is our time to talk about our sponsor, Ranger Rob Pet Poopy Bags. Yes, we love the product. It's cost-effective, eco-friendly pet poopy bag. Bags with easy to manage handles, the extra wide for the extra big poop you have to pick up. Bags for all pets, large and small. We get inquiries all the time about this product, and you can easily go to www.rangerrobshop.com, or I got this on Amazon for $8.95. And so we appreciate that. And now I had a question from a listener. Can't seem to find it right now, folks. I'll find it here as I sit there and just want to tell you how great the pet poopy bags are, because they really make cleanup easy and make you a good neighbor. You know, you don't want to just, I don't know, not care about what you're doing. I can't find my question, folks. Sorry, but it had to do with a horse, and it's gone forever. So if you really care about poop, no, we're gonna find it, folks. This is important because it's about pet poopy bags. It's about you. It's about your life.
Hey, buddy.
I'm trying to find. We had a question from an audience member that left us, but I can't seem to find it, Chris.
Oh no. Do you remember what it was about?
Can you use this for horses? So the short answer is yes. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Boy, I messed up this whole segment.
It hasn't shown.
You don't think so? I think it has.
No.
Huh.
Not unless you're in the biz. This is so subtle.
So anyway, they're wide. We'll get the question some other time. And actually, we're never coming back to this ever again. The answer is yes. You can use it on your horses, and you can use pet poopy bags, and your life will be wonderful. Again, that website is www.rangerrobshop.com, and we thank you for sponsoring them. And when you go to them, we want you to tell them that Gilly sent you.
Aw, Gilly. Is she still the official pug?
She is, yep.
Okay.
The official pug of Ranger Rob's Pet
I didn't know if you inaugurated a new pug with the changeover in the press. I just don't know how that works. So
yeah, it's his life. It's like the Supreme Court.
So I got a new cup of coffee. Look how warm it is. See how it's warming my hands? Oh God.
Does the texter drink coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he loves coffee. See? And if I believe he's the person who told me, maybe I'm mistaken. If you don't have half and half to put in it, then he'd rather have powdered creamer.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't him. Okay. It was somebody else.
Do you have to have your coffee in a certain way or you can't drink it?
No, I can go a lot of different ways with coffee. Lately, because you're asking, I've got this creamer that has MCT oil in. I don't know, it's supposed to be a bunch of healthy stuff. And it's one of the few creamers I've found that is similar to half and half as far as the creaminess.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoy it.
Now I put the almond milk in mine, froth it up. And then
Oh yeah,
put a little bit of honey, but looks like our texture doesn't even put doesn't even put any type of sweetener in there.
half and half or black or heavy whipping. Yeah, heavy whipping cream's good.
Yeah, it's real good. Here's a fun thing to do is get your cup.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whipped cream, fill it up.
Oh,
pour
yeah.
coffee on top of that. That's a delicious treat for you.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. So, man, I'm sorry about the question, guys.
It's fine.
Luckily, it was happening during our people who help support the program. So we're going to play a game.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Boomer.
Oh.
And this is the generation games. Okay. It has different trivia questions from the silent generation, baby boomers, Generation X, millennials, and Generation Z.
Dang. Okay.
Now,
a lot of generations.
How well do you think you'll do that on this?
I don't know. That's it, man. I don't know.
Now, I have played some of these, so if for some reason we pull a card that I know, I won't tell you. I'll act like I knew the answer and I'm like real smart and everything.
Okay, that's fair. Texter says the greatest generation sucks ass.
Yeah.
It's an interesting take.
If you want to see something really funny, watch John Mulaney's opening monologue on Saturday Night Live this season.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Where he's talking about a conversation with his grandma, and his grandma says, "My generation stopped the Nazis." And his answer back is, "We're trying to do that now if you guys just stop voting him in the office."
John Mulaney.
So John Mulaney is funny. So I was surprised on the questions I did know is how much I knew about the silent generation.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And that, I think it's because that was my dad's generation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how about your dad? When was your dad born?
He was born in 1944.
Okay, so he is officially during the silent generation, but the very last part of it.
Very last, right before the boomers came.
Mm-hmm. And so my dad was 1940.
Ah.
And my mom was 1942. We had a lovely birthday last week.
Oh, nice.
Happy
Good for
birthday,
her.
Linda.
Happy birthday, Linda.
I'm curious about the Texter's parents. What ages are they?
Boomers.
They're boomers. Okay. So let's start with a silent generation, see how well you do.
Okay.
Since you're not in studio, you can't ask me these questions.
I wish I could. I'm sorry. Yeah. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Can you read it?
No, it's not in focus.
Okay, that's what she said.
What?
All right. Silent generation.
Okay.
If anyone wants to text us at 913-735-0060, or if you've hacked into our Zoom, you can text us with the here we go.
Okay, bring it.
What landmark Supreme Court case ruled racial segregation in public schools are unconstitutional?
I think that would be Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka.
Very
Kansas.
good, Chris. Texter said Roe versus Wade. No. Okay, good job, Chris.
Thank you.
Isn't this fun?
Yeah, this is a good segment.
Okay, we'll do another one from the silent generation. The Lakers were originally founded in what U.S. city?
I believe that would be Minneapolis.
Wow.
From the land of 10,000 lakes.
No one brings this up ever. That the dumb LA are the Lakers, and there's no lake in LA. There's an ocean over there.
Well, how about the Utah Jazz?
That's the dumbest one ever in the history.
Yeah. And did you know there's no Cardinals in Arizona?
Oh,
other than the football team.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? We should have just stayed so when the team moved from Dallas, we should have stayed the Kansas City Texans.
That'd be kind of cool. We might have to go back to that. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Last one from the silent generation. What toy creates lithograph images by twirling two knobs and controlling the horizon and vertical movements of a stylus?
I believe that would be the Etch-a-Sketch.
Very good, man.
Yeah.
3 for 3 for Chris on the silent generation.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of the questions that I got was like sports questions. I was surprised I knew about the silent generation of sports.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So Amy, our constant and beloved listener, says that Seth Rogen is destroying Ted Cruz on Twitter and that it's fun to watch. So after the show, folks, take a look at that. Go out to your Twitter. And I have seen a little bit of the back and forth, and Seth is being brutal. It's lovely.
How did it start? My wife was trying to tell me about this morning.
I don't know where it began. Seth, I think, said "fuck you" to Ted Cruz or something, and then he came back with, "Oh, well, aren't you classy?" And it's just gone back and forth from there.
Okay,
Ted, pick your battles, dude. Seriously.
Okay, baby boomers.
Yeah, boomer.
Who's the singer actress known as the Divine Miss M?
That would be Bette Midler, I believe.
Wow, you're killing it. What 60s and 70s food trend involved melted cheese,
fondue,
chocolate?
Oh, I'm sorry. What is fondue?
No, and then finally, for baby boomers, what organization imposed an oil embargo in 1973, which caused widespread fuel shortages and a jump in U.S. gas prices?
I'm going to go with OPEC on that one.
This guy, man. Let's see. The texter has been trying. He said Hank Aaron, Babs, Streisand, Fonzie,
Skelly.
All wrong.
Yeah.
Well, here's how I like Chris. You're consistently right on these. He's consistently wrong. It's like a good team,
Yes.
Where one of you are not needed whatsoever. Okay, Generation X. That's what you are, Chris.
Okay, let's now watch me miss all of these.
Okay. Okay, this is a good one. This is something we all know. The Simpsons originally debuted as a segment on what show?
I think that's the Tracy Ullman Show.
My goodness. You got that right.
What was that song that she said? Remember, she had a pop song.
Worth finding. She's a really good actress. I don't know if you've seen her and stuff lately. Have you?
I have not. Because they don't know about us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She kind of always remind me too of
Amy Sedaris.
Yes. How'd you know I was going to say that?
Don't throw trivia questions at me without expecting an answer of some kind.
Well, it's just not here. Here we go.
Did you find it?
Yeah. Why did you? What made you say? How'd you know I was going to say that, Chris?
I don't know. We share a brain. This is that song.
It's a fun thing to talk to my friend about things. So I love the TV show Strangers with Candy,
Oh my God, yes.
starring Amy Sedaris. And somehow I get on this thing where I find the video of who she's making fun of.
Oh, really?
It's a real life person that was
Like,
30 years of drugs, and she went around and did lectures to people.
so Jerry Blank was based on a real person?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're going to have to show those videos sometime.
Oh God,
Make
yes.
sure Tom Gulley is maybe we'll invite Tom to come and commentate about it, because he as he told us was a Strangers with Candy nut too.
Yeah.
But it's really funny. Okay,
Oh
there's
God,
Tracy
I
Ullman.
have to see that.
Okay, Tracy Ullman, good job. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to this losing segment so we can move on to the news. What infamous symbol of the Cold War fell in 1989?
Would that be the Berlin Wall?
Yes. I tell you, back to political stuff, to you Republicans that make me mad. Ronald Reagan didn't make the Berlin Wall fall down.
He didn't.
No. Harry Truman started the policy towards the communists, and it went on through all the way to George H. Walker Bush. But these
Oh.
Republicans that want to tell me it was because of Ronald Reagan, you can go stick it there, twist it 3 times, and break it off.
Whoa.
Because it was the policy of the U.S.
I thought it was Joshua and the Israelites blowing their trumpets outside the wall that made it fall down.
Wrong wall.
Oh, okay.
Wrong wall.
Well, now I've missed one.
Yeah. As always, our texter brings up Letterkenny, which is a great show. Have you seen Letterkenny yet?
Yeah, I need to get into it. No, I've only seen the segments that we've shared in textual messages.
Well, Wayne, I don't remember the main character's name, is the toughest guy in Letterkenny. Okay, Wayne.
Okay.
So don't forget that.
Yeah.
Let's move to millennials. Do you have any millennials in your life? 1981 to 1996.
Oh my God.
Your
My stepdaughters. Yeah.
Okay. So, what Chicago Cubs player was suspended 8 games for using a corked bat?
Would that be? Is that Sammy Sosa?
Yep,
That-
Sammy
that's the cork
Sosa.
bat? Yeah.
That's exactly correct. Do you remember seeing Sammy Sosa in Chicago? Were you with us then?
I don't think I was there. Not for that trip.
We were in the back behind the outfield, the cheap,
Uh-huh.
and he kept going. You know how he did?
Oh,
So he did that a lot.
do you have a tick? Why did he do that?
That was his thing.
Okay.
That was his thing. And by the way, just as we can go back to food if you want, but I want to. Those hot dogs at Wrigley Field in the back were the best hot dogs I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
You love a wiener.
Yep. Okay. What American cyclist was stripped of all 7 Tour de France titles?
Yes, that would be Lance Armstrong.
Wow.
Which unfortunately made his appearance in Dodgeball a true underdog story. Kind of sad when you see it now.
Yeah. Was the name of the popular portable media player released by Apple in 2001?
It would be the iPod.
Yes. By the way, for you folks listening, that's why they call them podcasts. Back in the day, people would listen to programs such as this one on their iPod.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
How about this? We're entertaining the people, but they're also learning something.
Yeah. Oh, I always wondered what you called an iPod. Okay, so you've got them all right. Now comes Gen Z. I think you'll do good at these because your children are probably.
I mean, this is my kids' generation, but
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to them.
Good point. Good point. Let's see here a history one. What movement started as a hashtag following the killing of Trayvon Martin and has grown to become the leading voice on radical violence towards the Black community?
The bowel movement. No, the Black Lives Matter.
Okay. I read something, and I don't even remember where I saw it. The Black Lives Matter is very Marxist,
Mm-hmm.
and they're promoting a very socialist economic system. I thought it was just like, Black Lives Matter.
I thought it was too.
We should just like care about them, but I think they have a lot of things that people are calling not Marxist, but socialist, because of systemic racism. There's a lot of poor Black people. There's also some poor white people we need to deal with too.
Yeah.
So if their lives matter, you would make sure.
Appalachia.
Yeah. Now, if their life matters, we would care enough to make them have the same opportunities as everyone else in the country.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
So I don't buy it that this socialist or anything. It's economic.
Yeah.
Poor people are more susceptible to all kinds of problems, including they get COVID-19 more than rich people.
Yeah.
And everything else. And we've created a system of opportunity that a large portion of our citizenry do not get to participate in because of the color of their skin. That's wrong. I'm Paul Lavoda.
Wow. All right, dude.
I don't get it. Yay. Come
on. Hey. Way to go soapboxing, dude.
Yeah. So there. Anything comment on that? Anyone? Killer in Norway. Okay, here we go. You want to read that comment, Chris?
While the hour is late, the battle is not decided. Very few Western Europeans realize that political correctness is, in fact, Marxism in a different set of clothes. As that realization spreads, defiance will spread with it. At present, political correctness prospers by disguising itself. Through defiance and through education on our part, which should be part of every act of defiance, we can strip away its camouflage and reveal the Marxism beneath the window dressing of sensitivity, tolerance, and multiculturalism. Whoa.
Who said
Did the texter just pass out and have like a Will Ferrell moment in Old School? Where did that come from?
It's the guy in Norway, the killer in Norway did it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I would say that he's full of shit. That would be my response. His long, eloquent explanation. Mine would be, you're full of shit. Okay.
Wow. Equally eloquent, but somewhat truncated.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What gorilla became the immortalized in memes after he was killed in the Cincinnati Zoo in 2016?
Oh, God. Was it Harambe?
Wow. This guy, you know it all. That's right.
I used to do pretty good at Trivial Pursuit. I'll just say that.
That reminds me of just everyone was so mad because that got shot, and the abuse, the people, people are more valuable than animals, folks. Can we start to believe that yet? That animals are valuable, but people maybe come first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, by the way, total side note, I'm just going to throw this out. Watch My Friend the Octopus on Netflix.
Okay.
Watch it.
Oh, Octa. Because I was looking up online, My Friend, and the rest of it.
No, yeah.
I like.
Make sure you throw in the Octa.
I like that show. Okay. Last question. How about that?
Okay.
You're gonna know this for sure. Published 2011. What book sold over 15 million copies and later was made into a movie of the same name? If you don't have this book, your wife probably does.
Oh boy, I bet it's 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She did. She read it and then would have to read me the ridiculous parts of it. So we had fun with that. It was bonding.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. And bondage. Woohoo!
Okay, so that was our waste of time program, but we still haven't got.
I'm sorry I couldn't ask you questions, but
yeah, I wanted to get it over with, if you could tell, because I want to go. I want to know what's going on in pop news.
Oh yeah, I'm always wondering about that.
We haven't heard about that in a very long time. So, Chris, take it away.
Well, how about this, huh? Dustin Diamond completes first round of chemotherapy for cancer treatment. Former Saved by the Bell star Dustin Diamond is making progress in his fight against cancer. A representative for the actor said on Thursday that Diamond, known for playing Samuel Screech Powers on the hit 90s teen series, has completed his first round of chemotherapy treatment with another to follow. Obviously wishing Screech the best.
Absolutely.
I don't know what kind of cancer he has. Do you?
I know. And You know, he burned bridges with all the Saved by the Bell people, and he wasn't in this reboot that's up.
Right.
It's on
Right.
Peacock. If you're very like happy and you like your life and you think that's too much, go to the reboot of Saved by the Bell, and you'll hate everything and hate everyone for living.
Oh,
That
now I'll have
bad.
to take a look.
It's so
at that.
terrible.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's so terrible that I bet you Screech is enjoying his chemotherapy treatments more than he would be wanting to be in the show.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
But here's one for you, Chris.
Okay, please.
The Masked Dancer revealed the celebrity hiding under cricket. Singer Brian McKnight was revealed on Wednesday's The Masked Dancer to be the person who has been performing under the cricket costume. We've all been wondering that.
We have. I thought it was Ted Knight, so I was way.
I thought it was Jiminy. After dancing to Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It," McKnight was unmasked for viewers and the panelists. Why can't they have Brian McKnight play to one of his own songs?
Maybe that would give it away too much. I don't know.
How would you know it was Brian McKnight dancing?
I have no. I've never watched that show. I've never watched The Masked Singer,
Okay.
Masked Dancer.
I've heard the name Brian McKnight, but I can't think of a song that he did.
I can't either. Yeah.
Let's see if the texter knows. Ted Nugent. Okay. It was Ted Nugent.
That's
So
helpful.
there you go. There's your update on Brian McKnight, everybody.
Well, here's
This
one that I
thing
think
must be going well.
I think this is going to hit home for you, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Gaga and Jennifer Lopez perform at the inauguration. Lady Gaga and Jennifer Lopez delivered powerful performances at Wednesday's inauguration. Gaga sang the national anthem while Lopez performed a medley of patriotic songs that included "This Land Is Your Land."
Lady Gaga was amazing, I thought.
Do you think that former President Trump watched that celebration, and if he did, got angry at all the celebrities that came out to support the inauguration of Biden?
Both, yes.
Okay, I thought so too.
Okay, so as I was watching it, here comes Lady Gaga in this big old red dress.
Uh-huh.
My first reaction was, I don't know if that's appropriate for the inauguration. Look how different she is. And then the person I was watching with said, hey, that's Lady Gaga. And then the other guy says, she's not showing up in a meat dress. So my point is, yeah, she had a big old dress, but that's Lady Gaga. You're not inviting, someone from the choir. You're inviting Lady Gaga. You got to be prepared for some stuff.
Hey, Gaga's got a big old dress. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought hers was beautiful. Now, Jennifer Lopez, who I put on the way overrated scale.
Oh.
Especially as a singer.
Yeah.
This Land Is Your Land is a great song because, was it Woody Guthrie or Arlo Guthrie?
It was one of the Guthrie guys. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about socialism.
Mm-hmm.
That everyone, it really is a protest song about, it wasn't the Bill Gaither trio extra, but it really was a protest song. And Guthrie lived in at one point in his life, lived in New York in a apartment owned by Fred Trump, the former president's father.
Oh, okay.
And they hated him. And it was basically, he did some songs about how bad Fred Trump was. So there's a lot of underling things as opposed to, me and William Southern, Miss McDill having me sing "This Land Is Your Land." It was a pretty subversive song in its day, but people don't know that nowadays.
Well, there's some trivia I didn't know about the whole Fred Trump aspect of that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fun.
Google Fred Trump and Guthrie, and it's an interesting story.
I will.
But let's get back to the fun facts. This is something I know
please.
our texter cares a lot about. Cole Sprouse not interested in a Sweet Life of Zach and Cody reboot. Sorry, fans of the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, but Cole Sprouse has moved on. The Riverdale star appeared on the Drew Barrymore show and shared his thoughts on reboots in light of the Sex and the City news. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
Is Dylan okay with it? Because they could do like a Patty Duke thing with Dylan and just have him play both roles, right?
Yep. And our texter reminds us Hillary Duff is not doing one either. But here's what, there's no plans for it. Drew Barrymore just said, hey, what if they did a reboot of that?
Oh,
nobody
God.
wants to reboot. This kid is like 40 now when he was 2 when he did it before.
Right.
He doesn't want to do it. And if you notice on the even on the Full House reboot, the Olsen twins aren't even in that.
Right. Yeah.
These kids don't want to do it. Leave them alone. Chris?
Yeah. I had no idea.
Chris?
Hey, well, how about this? In pop and dental news, Chrissy Teigen lost a tooth in a fruit roll-up at the inauguration.
Oh, no.
Good news and bad news for Chrissy Teigen. President Biden followed her on Twitter, but she also lost a tooth. The model and cookbook author was at the 2021 presidential inauguration to support her husband, John Legend, who performed Wednesday evening. While indulging in a late-night fruit roll-up, she revealed the sticky snack had yanked out a cap.
Can you believe that she indulged in a late-night fruit roll-up?
You know, I guess it just makes me feel like Chrissy's not that different from me, you know?
Yeah.
I might grab a late-night fruit roll-up from the pantry, lose a tooth, whatever.
They refer to her as a model. I think she has to be referred to as a lot of people's favorite Twitter followers. That's what she is now.
She is. She's kind of an icon, really.
Yeah.
I mean, social
Comes to
media
Twitter,
wise.
Comes to Twitter.
Yep.
Nobody wants to see her on TV. She don't have to worry about her tooth when she's writing a tweet.
Right. Right.
Chris, we've had a lot of fun.
Have we?
Yeah. But this will touch your heart.
Okay.
Michael Douglas is a proud grandpa.
Aw.
Michael Douglas meets a newborn grandson for the first time. Michael Douglas is a proud grandpa. The actor shared a photo of himself meeting his newborn grandson. First time I've seen my month-old grandson, Ryder. He wrote alongside the photo on Instagram. It's the second child of his son, Cameron Douglas, and his partner, Vivi Tibbets. I don't know how to say that.
I don't know.
Posted about birth last month on social media.
Aw.
So,
God.
okay, so we got this one was because someone saw Instagram. This one was because they watched the Drew Barrymore show. This one was because they watched the inauguration.
I think I know where you're headed here.
This one's because they watched TV on The Masked Dancer. The only real reporting is Dustin Diamond.
Yeah, I think you're right on. To be an entertainment reporter, I mean, you could start a thing called A Little Birdie Told Me, and all you'd have to do is just look at social media and regurgitate.
Yeah. You know who'd be good at this?
Who?
Is our favorite listener, Amy, because she told us about social media, Seth Rogen.
Yes, she would be good at this.
But she also brought it together, Seth Rogen and politics.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of a fusion, and I don't know, an unholy coupling of political and pop items.
Does Rush Limbaugh still do this?
I don't know. Does he? I haven't listened to Rush in eons.
No.
Is he still on? Did he quit? I don't know what's happening with him.
Well, he quit and then he came back and then he made an insurrection.
Oh, in his pants?
Okay, we're gonna grab a break here real quick. A break
All
that
right.
you can breathe, enjoy, and write some more funny text to us. So we'll be right back with more Past Week Next Week with Chris and Paul and the Texter.
Yay!
Join in on the experiment by calling or texting us at 913-735-0060. We dare you.
Guys, want to get your wife or girlfriend a gift that will change her life? Ladies, how would you like to have great eyebrows, luscious lips, an eyeliner that stays put, and makeup that doesn't go anywhere? How would you like to go all day looking like your makeup was just applied? If you said yes to any of those things, then the answer is permanent makeup. This simple and easy procedure is quick, painless, and the results are outstanding. No more reapplying and no more smudging of your makeup. And in our area, Natural Image Salon in Lee Summit is the only place to perform your your permanent cosmetic procedure. The professionals at Natural Image Salon in Lee Summit are your answer to waking up every morning with perfect makeup and the great feeling of knowing whether you're swimming, working out, or just waking up, you will always look beautiful. Call Natural Image Permanent Cosmetic Salon at 816-525-9971, 816-525-9971 for a free consultation. Gift certificates are also available. Tell them you heard this ad and get $25 off any procedure. Natural Image, your investment in a beautiful you.
This is Drew from KCTK Radio's Week Review with Paul and Drew. Listen to the show every weekday at 3:30 p.m. and live show Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. right here on KCTK Radio, personality-driven radio.
Do you see that doggy in the shelter?
Hi, I'm Buddy, the adorable puppy you adopted from the Humane Society. Meow. I'm Whiskers, a fluffy kitty, just waiting for someone to love me.
When you adopt a pet, we hope your new furry friend will become a cherished member of your family. And as Buddy and Whiskers will tell you, the key to success is following the rules to love by.
Woof, that's right. Please give me food, water, and exercise every day. To stay healthy, I need the same kind of things you need. Talk to me. I like hearing your voice. You're my best friend. Please don't stay mad at me or lock me up as punishment. Remember, I'm probably going to live 10 to 15 years, so take care of me when I get old. One day you'll need someone to take care of you too.
A message from the Montgomery County Humane Society. Visit www.mchumane.org for the complete rules to love by.
Be your best friend for life.
Yo, this is Hartzell from the KC Morning Show. Listen every weekday, 9 a.m., right here on KCTK Radio, personality-driven radio.
Everything's running smoothly.
Ah, geez. Welcome back to Past Week, Next Week with Chris and Paul. Are you there, Chris?
Hey, I'm here. Welcome.
How you doing?
Good. Whoa. Like, I want people to see the top of my bald dome. I don't know what the deal is.
So remember the guy I was telling you about that had the question about the horse?
Yeah.
This poor listener of ours, we've neglected him. He texted us on the regular text line an hour ago with the simple comment, hello, a guy named Justin Timberlake sang a song called Better Days. Why can't he get some love there?
Yeah.
So, and I can't even give this listener love. I apologize, listener. I really do.
You know, we had another listener who has said, and it's our dear Amy, Philip Vogt is the texter, isn't he?
Oh.
Amy?
Who is?
She's asking if Phil LaVota is the texter.
No, well, on this one he is. On this Justin Timberlake he is.
Yeah. But as far as having the title the texter, that's not Phil.
Yeah.
It's another person.
I'll give you a hint to who it is, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Parker. Stephen Parker is the texter.
Ooh.
No, that's not correct.
Oh.
But Amy, we want you to be the texter. we want to get rid of this texter because here's the thing we try to do. The texter doesn't really help us too much with this. We want to be funny.
Yeah, that's the problem. Maybe we should give that part up.
Okay, let's do that. Speaking of not funny, here is our news with regular news, and then here comes some punchlines. We call it
here's our
predictions.
Our first post Trump administration attempt here. This is rough.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe yours are really good. I don't know. But
yeah, they are.
Here we go. On his first full day in office, President Biden signed 10 executive orders aimed at combating the COVID-19 pandemic and its economic toll. Actually, I'm going to read that again, and I'm going to improv a line here, and I want you to guess what movie it's from.
Okay.
On his first full day in office, President Biden signed 10 executive orders aimed at combating the COVID-19 pandemic and its economic toll.
No, we love Mel Brooks.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll continue. One order is focused on increasing coronavirus vaccine distribution, centralizing the federal government by creating vaccination centers in schools and government buildings, and bringing in thousands of federal workers to staff those sites. Other orders are aimed at increasing the number of COVID-19 testing sites. Biden recommitted his promise of distributing 100 million coronavirus vaccines in his first 100 days in office. What's next, Joe? Livable wages and health care as a right? I'll have some of what you're smoking. Paul?
Thanks, Chris.
Sure.
7 Senate Democrats filed an ethics complaint against Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Josh Hawley on Thursday, asking the Senate Ethics Committee to investigate whether they coordinated with leaders of the pro-Trump Stop the Steal rally that took place immediately before the January 6th Capitol riot. The Democrats say the committee should also offer recommendations for strongly disciplinary actions, including up to expulsion or censure, if warranted by the facts uncovered. Senators have already determined that the two should receive severe swirlies, mini noogies, and daily pink bellies, since they are both douchebags. Chris?
Noogies. Former President Donald Trump has hired attorney Butch Bowers to represent him in his Senate impeachment trial. Trump advisor Jason Miller confirmed the news on Twitter, saying Bowers is well respected by both Republicans and Democrats and will do an excellent job defending President Trump. The tweet continued, and if we're really lucky, we'll get Bob Loblaw to sign on as co-counsel. Do you know why that's a double joke?
No.
Because Bob Loblaw is just the funny attorney name from Arrested Development.
Henry Winkler, right?
But no, he's played by Scott Baio.
Oh,
who is a big Trump supporter. I had to explain
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Do you like when somebody has to explain how clever they are?
Usually, like I see Dave Attell up there, or like Dave Chappelle sitting there saying, here's why this is funny.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you a joke, and now let me tell you why it's funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this isn't funny, Chris. Dr. Anthony Fauci admitted to sometimes feeling uncomfortable during the Trump administration and described the ability to now speak honestly and openly as liberating. He promised the new administration will make up all its decisions based on science and evidence, while noting he got in trouble sometimes for non-honesty under one of the new things in the administration. Drank coffee too much. One of the new things in this administration is that if you don't know the answer, don't guess. Fauci said, just say you don't know the answer. When the Trump administration didn't know an answer, they prayed to QAnon for a complicated conspiracy to blame. Chris?
Thanks, Paul. Hey, how about this? The House and
highlight reels.
The House and Senate both easily approved a waiver to allow for the consideration of President Biden's defense secretary nominee. Pentagon leaders are required to be out of the military for 7 years, but retired General Lloyd Austin has only been retired for 5. Said Austin, retirement's been okay, but I needed to do something for some folding money. Plus, the wife's been driving me fucking nuts. So yeah, I guess I'm excited. Paul?
And finally,
thank God,
President Joe Biden is expected to sign 2 more executive orders, one focused on expanding food assistance and one on delivering stimulus checks to very low-income Americans, and even another on raising the minimum wage to $15 for federal workforce, as he continues his swift efforts to overturn his predecessor's policies, including Trump's policy of stealing money from the government.
Hey-o! That is beautiful.
Not done yet.
Oh. Now?
What are we going to do, man? It was so easy to make fun of Trump.
It was. You know what, though? This is good. That was kind of a crutch. Like, it was too easy. It was too easy. If we really think we're funny, and we do, then we need to be able to make light of things that aren't so easy.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It will fail miserably.
Yeah. We did when it was easy, so-called easy. So what do you got going on next week, Chris?
Big week, big week. It's performance evaluation week at work, so I got to get everybody's performance evaluations done. Got to get them rated. Got to get their raises put in. Probably my least favorite time of year for work. And
You don't like to give people compliments or what?
I don't mind giving them compliments. I just don't like giving them money. They don't
Yeah.
deserve it. What
Yeah.
do they want? A handout? Oh, I work for you. I need a raise. Come on. No, I'm kidding. I've really got nothing else going on. Nothing exciting. I need something new in my life, dude. Oh, no, I am going to do my second breath circle this week.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
Good.
that's exciting. So
I completed the David Sedaris masterclass.
yeah, what'd you think?
He's very insightful, and the bottom line is that he writes. If you want to be a writer, you need to write. Almost like he never cared about being a successful book seller or publisher. He just wrote.
I found it interesting that was his main message. And even when he got to the part where he's talking about how he got picked up and recognized, his message was, don't try to get published. Don't try
Yeah.
to get your work out there. Just write every day, share it when you can, and let, whatever happens, happen.
Well, and all the successful comedians say, "We'll just keep writing jokes."
Mm-hmm.
It seems like people that are successful have this thing they tell you to do is work hard, which I've never really, it's like,
Yeah.
huh?
It's like they have discipline.
Yeah, discipline and hard work ethic. And like, okay, what if you don't have that and you want to be super successful?
Yeah. What are your options then? Because I'd like to know.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My film. Now let me ask you this: when you went through these master classes, by the way, just to recap, Chris got the master class subscription.
I did for 1 year.
They're able to give it to someone. He can give that subscription to someone else and share it. And he said, "Who needs to know stuff more than anyone else I've ever met?" And that was me. So
Who
I'm
do I want to give it to?
yeah. So he gave it to me, and he gave it to me good.
Yeah.
But do you print the workbook and go through it with it too?
I've not done that. I've just been listening. I went through all of David Sedaris's. Maybe I should print the workbook.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm listening to two. I'm going back and forth between Neil Gaiman and Shonda Adams, I think is her name, the woman that did Grey's Anatomy. And
Oh yeah.
I think she's also doing Bridgerton, which is all the rage on the Netflix.
Oh, my wife loved it. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, so I don't know.
Looks like we have lots of from the texter. The texter says, "I'm the texter." So that should answer your question, Amy. Why did the fireman wear suspenders to the party?
I don't know.
To
keep his pants up?
Pot. He smokes pot, weed, grass, pocket money. Where did the fireman bring toilet paper to the party? Because he was a party pooper.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense.
I think he must have heard us say he wasn't funny with jokes. I've turned down countless book deals and I don't want them. I told my boss to stop paying me money. I don't want money. I printed the coloring book, Bill Gaither. So I hate to say this.
Yeah.
Could Phil Lavoda really come up with gems like that?
No.
I mean, come on.
Phil's great. Phil's
great.
good. He's good.
He has his own podcast. He's a very successful man. He's an Emmy Award winner.
But he's not coming up with next level material like that.
Right.
That you read.
That's right.
That's right above.
And
yeah.
And I think if we talked to him, he would say, "Yes, I did not come up with that material."
Yeah, he would probably agree with that.
This is Phil wants a book deal, but actually Phil has already published a book. You should check it out. It's called His Name is Murder. If you like true crime, His Name is Murder. It's on Amazon. I got mine for $9.95.
Oh, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah.
And especially for folks here in KC, it's local true crime stories.
Right.
So you guys would and should be interested.
So for me, I'm excited about we're going to be doing some more podcasts this week. We haven't done the week review in a while.
Yeah.
Check that out on Thursday. And then
you got Health Detective Monday.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what I have here. I don't have it on my calendar. I'll make sure it's on there. And I don't think we do the Chris Tells a Story podcast anymore.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a long time. Maybe I need to kick that back up.
But let's tell our listeners, just as a exciting part of their life, is that the I've Got Something to Say book will be coming out very soon.
Yeah. I'm trying to get inspired by the David Sedaris. You know, he does essays of stories about his life. I've done a podcast, and I would like to turn that into a book. So I've got the raw material.
You wrote all the funny stories, and they're true stories.
Yeah. I just need to edit.
Are you going to call the book "I've Got Something to Write"?
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah.
And the "I've Got Something to Say," by the way, is a nod to Amy Sedaris.
Yes, we talked about it earlier in Strangers with Candy.
Mm-hmm.
That was sort of a frequent thing that would happen, is she would bust in somewhere and go, "I've got something to say."
Yeah.
And then moralize to everyone, but of course be way off target and be absurd.
Yeah. So we'll be looking for that. And Chris, I mean, you have it. Get the stuff and just put it together, and then you can edit it.
Yeah. That's the other thing he said. He said he rewrites every story like 12 to 18 times or some ridiculous number like that. But I do think that's how you get good.
So there you go. So lots of stuff coming on the new year. We hope that you participate with us throughout the year, because we love you. We love you so very much.
You're very special people, and we love you.
We love you so much that we're going to dedicate. What was that?
That was the Donald Trump quote to the insurrectionists in his first video message.
Oh, that's right. In fact,
yes.
You're very special.
Yeah, we love you. You're very special. So we need to close the show on another one from the inauguration celebration. Someone who I always kind of thought was overrated a little bit too, but I don't know. I'm becoming a fan of her as well, again, because of these things.
Ladies and gentlemen, Katy Perry.
Here's Katy Perry, folks.
You want me to read this thing?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey. Oh, let me get down to the closing. Okay, folks, forget you heard that last part. Now here we go. Hey, thanks for listening to Past Week, Next Week with Chris and Paul, and Texter and Amy and Phil. Since you love the program, please rate and review the podcast on your favorite podcast distributor. We'd love to hear from you. And you can contact us at 913-735-0060 or at pastweeknextweek@gmail.com. And join the Past Week Next Week Facebook page. Also, make sure you listen to all the great programs on KCTK Radio, Delmarva Talk Radio, and Good Talk Radio. Plus, support our sponsor by picking up some Ranger Rob pet poopy bags. On behalf of Paul, I'm Chris saying goodbye.
And on behalf of Chris, I say goodbye, and we're going to leave you with Firework by Katy Perry and how it incorporated into the ending of the celebration of the inauguration. It's beautiful.
Yeah. That firework display was insane, wasn't it?
Do you notice how it doesn't? It's not as high as other ones.
The high up in the air.
Yeah.
Is that part of the DC thing where stuff can't be high in the air, like buildings and whatnot?
I don't know.
They can only be like 6 stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at Katy Perry from the front, does she remind you a little bit of Dennis the Menace?
Yes. She's always at the trouble.
Or what's his name, Malfoy from the Harry Potter series.
Yeah. They're both beautiful. Okay, so here's the thing that got me, I thought about when I was watching this. Katy Perry was sitting around with somebody and wrote the song.
Yeah.
Put it on an album, whatever. Could you imagine from that point to this, where all these fireworks are going off and she's celebrating something big for the country?
No.
That's going to be amazing.
It's got to be amazing. And going back to what we were just talking about, it's probably because she worked hard and like wrote this down, you know?
Huh.
I
admire it. I admire it, but they're just not willing to do it, I guess.
Yeah, that's the problem. Hard work takes a lot of hard work.
Sure does.
Look at that. Isn't that great?
So
you got Joe up there, and What we assume is Jill. I don't know how many doubles he's going to have for her, like Trump did with Melania.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so pretty. You're right. It's not that high in the air.
Yeah. But I just to repeat what you said, they should do this every time they have.
Yes. Yeah. Don't do the, muckety mucks at their dumb balls. Do this and let the rest of us get involved by staring at our TVs.
And texting our friends.
Yes. Did you see the meme of Michelle Obama as a Jedi?
Yes.
That was badass, man.
I saw it on Mark Hamill's Twitter.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Joe and Dr. Jill. I could not believe, and those are just the big fireworks that we see. Like, how many snakes and sparklers were people doing too that we don't even know about?
That little baby was running around with a sparkler inside the White House.
Yes.
It would be awkward to sit down to watch fireworks with people watching you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Have a good week, folks.
All right.
This has been a KCTK production, produced by Paul Lavoda. If you want more information about this content, then you have some real weirdness going on. You can always check out KCTK Radio on Facebook. Listen to live programs at kctkradio.com. Yes, and that is on the World Wide Web. Thank you.